Hello and welcome to week 3 of the Black and Blue FF Preview, a show highlighting the NFC North. As you would expect, the Packers are up 2-0 in the division, already have a clear lead. Absolute beatdown Thursday. Jordan Love, a little bit over what we anticipated, 292 yards, 2 touchdowns, covered his rushing prop. Josh Jacobs had 23 rushing attempts for 84 yards and a touchdown. Now, we said Reed would get a touchdown. He did. It was just called back, and as it happened, he broke his collarbone on that play. So he will be out for about 6 weeks, maybe 2 months. So something to monitor going forward. Tyler Kraft stepped it up, though, with 6 receptions, 124 yards, and a touchdown. Romeo Doubs did his thing as well. 3 receptions, 28 yards, and 1 touchdown. And as we predicted, McManus had a great night. 3 extra points, 2 field goals, went over 6.5 points, and just like a standard league. So great job by McManus as well. This week we kind of shift our attention to what's kind of, I think, going to be a challenging match. Okay, first off, Cleveland has given up the fewest yards across the NFL. They have the number 1 ranked defense due to that. Now their points are a different story. They're giving up over 50 points. But their yards are actually 191.5 yards per game, all right? And as it so happens to be, this game features the 2 best rush defenses in the NFL, the Green Bay Packers and the Cleveland Browns. Never thought I would say that. That's got to be the first time I've said that sentence in my life. But it may force some challenges from a fantasy football perspective, okay? So what we're going to be looking at is Josh Jacobs. Maybe, if you have him, you probably have to start him. He's a first-round, second-round selection. But maybe don't expect a touchdown, or maybe don't expect as many yards. I mean, they held Henry down. Chase Brown had a great game, but they still held his yards down as well. On the flip side, the Packers have came out and had positive game scripts almost immediately. It's a great way for them to win games, going back to Aaron Rodgers. When the Packers have a great positive game script, there's something about the flow of the game that's much better for them. It opens up the defense a little bit more for pressure, which they're playing with just 4 defensive linemen and sitting back in his zone, or at least that's what they did last week. So we'll see what happens with Joe Flacco. How much freedom will he have? Will he get benched? If he plays, there'll be a lot of snaps, so the IDPs for the Packers will have a high volume. I expect to see that as well. On the offensive side of the ball, Jordan Love may have to carry this game. We saw Lamar Jackson have a 4-touchdown game last week. I'm not saying Jordan Love will do that, but without Reed, they've had a full week to game plan now, and Dobbs should step it up. Wicks should step it up. Look for Kraft. Golden might, get more opportunities now because of that. So it's something to monitor going forward. Either way, Love is the one you want. Obviously, if you went and picked up Kraft in your lineup, you're going to start him if he was available. I think he's going to see some high volume going forward just because of the nature of the clear out wide receivers. Kraft can run an out route or an in route, or run off some play action pass blocking and release. So there's a lot of potential there for him. On the defensive side, I really like Edgerrin Cooper. Like I said, I think there's potential there. Micah Parsons. But on the flip side, Myles Garrett, man, he's my player to watch. He's had a sack in every game thus far. He's been a disruptor like he always is. He got Burrow twice in one drive, almost got him a 3rd time on that drive. So it's just something that the Packers are going to have to monitor with, fluctuation at their line, maybe tight end chipping a lot. You might see more Musgrave in this game to help out with Garrett some. And like I said, just something to monitor. To talk about the Chicago Bears, here's Andy.
I'll just make this as simple as possible for you. Exactly one thing works in the Bears offense through 2 games, and that is a pass to Rome Odunze. Nothing else is working well. Rome's passer rating when targeted is 130.2. That's really good. He has 3 touchdown receptions on the season. Caleb Williams' overall passer rating is 89.1. That's not great. It could be better. They've tried to do other things. They have attempted to get the ball to DJ Moore with limited success, but really it's a pass to Rome Odunze. That is the thing that works. He has all 3 touchdown catches on the season for the Bears. He's actually been the recipient, I believe, of 5 of Caleb's last 9 touchdown passes. It's working, and that's real progress. These 2 came into the league together. If there is one receiver on this team that you really want to see take off, it's Rome Odunze. He's on the same timeline as Caleb. This is all great. It's looked good so far. They got to get other people going. They got to get Colston Loveland going if they're going to get anything at all out of the number 10 pick. the number 10 pick in the draft, you'd like to see them doing more than asking him to simply run clear out routes. And he's got to earn it too. So I'm not saying this is a failure of coaching. This is what the coaching staff seems to think of Colston Loveland to this point in the season. They got to get more out of him. I'm confident they'll get more out of DJ Moore. He's a really good player. They were scheming to get him involved at the start of week 2. Obviously, things got out of hand pretty quickly in week 2. Detroit put 52 points on the Bears. Tell me again about how Caleb Williams is the only thing wrong with the Bears. No, there's a lot to work on. This week, it's the Cowboys, and Vegas is expecting a point total north of 50. So am I, because these two teams just combined to give up 89 total points last week to the Lions and Giants, respectively. The Cowboys just allowed 2 receivers for the Giants. 2 of Russell Wilson's receivers combined for over 300 receiving yards. This should be a good thing, not just for Rome Odunze, but for DJ Moore as well, and for any other Bear who can get involved. I'd love to see it. Again, we expect a lot of points in this one. I'm not going to guarantee a win. Somehow the Bears are actually a slight favorite in this game. That's crazy to me. They haven't won yet, and they haven't really shown signs of being much of a winner just yet. We'll see. I think this is a start your Cowboys, start your Bears kind of week in fantasy.
Hi, this is Greg Kellogg, and what a week! Detroit cleaned up against the Bears, but this week we have another primetime game, Monday Night Football in Baltimore, which is outdoors, and we all know Jared Goff isn't as good away from home or outdoors as he is inside. In fact, the Lions are 1-6 against the Ravens all time, and they haven't beaten them in 20 years. 2005 was the last time they beat him. Last time they played, they actually made Lamar Jackson look invincible. They allowed him to complete 78% of his passes for 357 yards and 3 TDs. They did hold him under 40 yards rushing, but they let him get another tutty. So that's not a really good. It was a 7 yard scamper. It's still extra points, so it's not really good. This year, the Ravens, they're just not the defensive powerhouse that we've seen in the past. So there's an option, there's a chance. You're saying there's a chance? Yeah, there's a chance. The over under for this game is a league high 51.5 points. So I got to tell you, start all your Ravens and start all your Lions. Well, most all. We saw Isaac Tesla catch another 100 one-handed late in the half Jim that set up a touchdown for Amon Ra. So he's had 2 targets, 2 one-handed catches, 1 touchdown. Not bad, but he's just not getting enough targets to put him in yet. Now the coaches are saying that he'll get more opportunities, but until I see him getting 5 to 7 targets, can't recommend you start him. Again, I said the over under for this game is 51.5, which is league high. So, it should be a very entertaining game, if nothing else. Now, I suspect the Ravens will eventually triumph. I hate to say that, but it's a home game for them. I just do. But, the spread is anywhere from 4.5 to 6 points. I'm not sure they can beat the Lions by 6, much less 4.5. A little later, I'll tell you what I'm predicting. Um, but there is one promising note that I came across. In all the games where both David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs have scored a tutty, the Lions are 12-0, undefeated in every game where the two of them score. And against this defense, it's very possible that they will both score. So something's got to give in this game. Now, I'm putting the game score as 34-31 Ravens, with the Lions covering the spread, but falling a little short. It's a away game. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm trying to be a realist with this.
What is up, everybody? This is JC from the Sports Affiliation, and we are here to talk a little bit of Vikings. It is week 3. This is the Black and Blue Fantasy Football Preview, and I am ready to talk Vikings football. Last week was absolutely horrendous. Vikings looked so bad. We lost a bunch of linemen. Definitely not okay. JJ McCarthy looked like an absolute rag doll, getting tossed around. 5 sacks in the first half, 1 sack in the second half. But yeah, he did not look good. Kevin O'Connell looked very frustrated this game. Not a good look for our first home game with JJ McCarthy as the starter. And he's already hurt. So it sounds like he's out 2 to 4 weeks. We've got Carson Wentz coming in this week, but yeah, it did not look good. And what's crazy is last week it didn't look as bad as you would think it looked if you looked at the scoreboard. But watching that game was absolutely horrendous. We just got to be thankful, regardless of how many yards the Vikings defense gave up, we didn't allow very many points to score. So that's a huge plus to see. The Vikings defense allowed us to stay in the game once again. But yeah, we didn't look good. Vikings offense didn't look good. Vikings defense looked, okay. But yeah, Kevin O'Connell looked very, very frustrated. JJ McCarthy definitely didn't look like he was ready to play. Yeah, last week I was so excited. I said this kid is the truth. He's gonna be the guy. But honestly, after watching last week, I think I got a little too excited. I need to be honest with myself and say, JJ looked like he was a deer in headlights last week. He needs to take a step back. He needs to go back to the drawing board and go back to studying this offense. But yeah, Darisaw should be back this week at left tackle, so that is a good thing. Carson Wentz will be at the helm, and we know that Joe Burrow won't be playing for the Bengals. We get the Bengals this week in week 3. It should be interesting. Jake Browning last week actually looked surprisingly very well. I believe it was like 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and he had a massive amount of yards. Actually, still looked pretty decent, and went out there and still got their team a win. Carson Wentz this week. I'm a little nervous, right? Carson, man, Carson. It's been a while, right? It's been a while for Carson, but he has the talent. It's there. I'm just definitely still very not sure, right, with this offensive line. Darisaw being back will be helpful, but we're missing so many offensive linemen. It's going to be very tough to keep a non-mobile quarterback from not being on his back with that many injuries on the offensive line. But with that being said, we got to hope for Justin Jefferson to turn up this week. Adam Thielen has to step back up this week. We need these veterans to step in and do well. We're missing Aaron Jones. He's out on IR. It's going to be rough. But Jordan Mason, he's looking good. So he's got to step up and do well as well. I believe the Vikings just re-signed Cam Akers, so I don't know if he'll be. They sent him to the practice squad, so it depends on if he's going to be activated or not this week. But for me, I think that the Vikings just have to go out there and stick it out and play really, really tough defense again this week. And they have to just run the ball. I see Will Reichard being a big part of this game again this week. You can take the over on his 1.5 field goals if it's out there. But yeah, it's going to be another Will Reichard show. He's probably the best player right now on this team, keeping this team together and getting us points. But if the defense can stay strong and he can kick some field goals and our offense can get us down the field enough for him to kick field goals, I think we can stick it in this game. We just have to score. Jordan Mason has to go out there, and Justin Jefferson has to be that veteran presence. 41.5 is the over-under this week. I say shoot for the under. It's not going to be a barn burner. It's going to be a lot of defense for the Vikings, trying to keep Browning from scoring. And he's just going to sling the ball. Like we saw last week, 3 interceptions. He's going to sling the ball. So we just got to hope that this defense can keep us in this game and we can get a win. But it's going to be tough. We're at home, but I'm going to say it's an under game, under 41.5 points. And I'm not excited, man. I think the Vikings get a loss. It's going to be very underwhelming for us at home. But yeah, it is what it is. We just got to keep moving on. Hopefully we can get guys back and healthy. Maybe JJ McCarthy can come back after 2 to 4 weeks and look better. But all we can do is keep our heads up and keep pushing forward. But another week. Let's see what we can do here. Thanks for everyone joining us. This has been the Black and Blue Fantasy Football Preview for Week 3. We will see you again back here next week. Make sure you check out thesportsaffiliation.com. Also, make sure you like and subscribe on our YouTube page and hit them notifications so you don't miss any of our content.